Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Johnson, and today on the podcast we have Mike Killa and Monkey from the band Open Minded. Guys, how you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing really good. We just got stormed on a little bit, but
yeah, me here. We just had a little bit of a power outage for all the people listening that delayed the podcast by a couple of minutes, but we're up and running right now. So why don't both you guys tell us all a little bit about what got you into music, kind of like what inspires you, like who are the big guys that really inspired you to take up music, and then what you guys are up to currently.
Go ahead, start it off with the inspiration of who started it.
Mike got me into music, for real. He forced me, told me I had to do it, and I couldn't not do it. So, I kind of just freestyled and remembered it and showed Mike, and he was like, hey, do this, do it. And that's how I started.
Yep. And before I started doing that, I was just always into the rap style, you know. It was one of our bigger influences in saying Clown Posse. And the trickle-down effects of their people and the underground scene that we've gotten into. Minnesota has a huge, huge rap scene that's very diverse, so a lot of people inspired that, but got me inspired to do music. And I was sitting here trying to create a conglomerate of people. The Monkey just so happened to says, hey, I freestyled once, and I was like, oh, yeah? Well, let's hear it. And he remembered it, and I was like, wow, you remember that? That's pretty talented as is, you know.
Bad.
And yeah, it wasn't the best, but you know.
Bad.
What would you say personally is the biggest misconception about the Juggalos for the fans of Insane Clown Posse, for people who don't know what that means?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that question.
That most of Juggalos generally are real fucking people. We're not really any different. We just like the same music, die hard to the same music. That's really the only thing that separates us from the whole rest of the world. The whole rest of the world loves horror movies, and it gets violent and gets fucked up and does other crazy shit that Juggalos do. It's just Juggalos are Juggalos, and we have a fucking name for us, so we get blamed for that shit as a whole, where ordinary people can go fucking do shit, and it's just an ordinary person, so there's not a whole select group to target for them.
I think the biggest misconception that Juggalos have straight up is that we're not all white, trailer trash, fucking meth heads. Sorry,
I've never
GTA
done that.
5 was the biggest thing, and all there was the hillbilly meth head that was wearing face paint, and that is not us. It is so diverse a group. Monkey's right. We're just humans. It's just a bunch of people that love music, and they just so happen to dress like clowns.
I'm a Juggalo, and I'm a rapper, and I don't even wear face paint for my music. So, I mean, that's just...
Okay, so do both of you have a specific song from Insane Clown Posse that's your favorite?
Hands down, Nothing's Left, the last song on Jacko Brothers CD. I want that song played at my funeral. If you guys haven't heard anything from ICP, listen to that song and think about it.
All right, everybody make sure to give that a listen after they've heard this podcast. And Monkey, what about you?
Re-Ring from Riddlebox. First song from ICP that I ever heard. And it is still my favorite, hands down, to this day. It's so funny, it's clowny, it's hilarious, It's wicked, it's everything I love about beautiful music, beautiful, wicked music.
So, what would you guys say separates Insane Clown Posse from other groups? Kind of because their fan base is so well known. What would you say really put them apart to getting such a huge fan base?
Jay is one of the best storytellers I've ever heard in music to date. I mean, there are quite a few other artists out there that can do storytelling, but to portray the whole wickedness with his whole career behind it and everything, it's just amazing. The ideas he's had for it, and it's just nobody else could do that.
Because they're not the best rappers, let's be honest. They don't have, like, Tech 9 skill where they're chopping nonstop, but they do rhyme. But he's right. The storytelling of it, they can paint a picture in your guys' mind no problem.
Whether you like that picture or not,
right?
That picture is painted.
Yeah, and I think that's what separates them apart. Plus, they basically blew up doing what they wanted to do, not what everybody else was telling them.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So going on to Open Minded, how did you guys come up with the band? What was the meaning behind the name, or was it just something that you just randomly thought of? Could you tell us a little bit more about like the foundation of the band, how it started?
Yes, absolutely. So with the start of Open Minded, it was actually Open Minded Productions. It was just like a production company.
It was 11 different entities of music that slowly fell away to do their own thing, and we ended with 3 main solo groups that stayed together, and we decided to grow a super group called Open Minded and just drop the whole label ideal of it.
So it's not like a conglomerate anymore. It was down to what the solid thing was. And it was funny because we got actually offered to play with ICP at First Avenue in Minnesota.
Wow.
And that's pretty big. That was the main room. Huge. And they hit us up day of, and we're like, yeah,
I'm ready, I'm down,
we're good to go. What's the band name? And we're like, we don't have what do we say? Open Minded,
yeah,
because that's all we had, because instead of Productions we just like cut it off, and then from that it stuck hands down. So
wow, that's awesome. So, and for people that don't know or haven't heard about you guys yet, you guys are very different in the fact that you guys play both rock and hip hop as a type. Could you kind of explain how the influence came into playing both those genres? Because you normally don't hear bands that play both those.
Correct. So just to start it off, we did start off with hip hop. It was just strictly hip hop, all like electronic beats. But we did know people that played live instruments.
And to be completely real about it, we tried to get our guitarist and his bassist to do this years before they started their band.
And did the rock thing on their own.
And then that fell apart, and then they came to join up with us. Yeah. I was like, hey, we wanted to do this, so yes, absolutely. But we have known the guitarist and the bassist for many, many years,
and I've actually worked with them numerously in our old hip hop stuff. We have live guitar, live bass in certain songs.
We even did one crossover show with Smoke and Mirrors and Open Minded crisscrossing and doing crazy.
Yep. So on the live show, it'd be rock, and then we would do rap. And then we're like, we're 30. He's almost 30. So we grew up when Limp Bizkit, Korn, Linkin Park, all of those guys were the rap rock.
They were kicking ass at that shit.
And we're like, why can't we do that nowadays? Because you don't hear about it mainly anymore when you're doing the hip hop and rock together. And if you do, it's really poppy, and it's Hollywood Undead. And I'm not saying they're bad, but they're really poppy. They're not metal and rap put together.
They are.
And that's what we wanted, so we just grabbed all of them. We're like, we know these instrument guys. Are they down to do it? And we hit them up, got it going, and we're here today.
That's
rocking
awesome.
out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what would you say is one of the biggest difficulties of playing both those genres when it comes to like songwriting or when it comes to performing? Do you ever kind of get in the mindset of like, maybe you decide to like put a little bit more rock into a hip-hop song or a little bit more hip-hop into a rock song? How does that work for you guys?
Okay, we're going to start with the performance thing. Sometimes there's not enough room for us to bring our full rock band, or there's not enough, compensation. It's not worth it. It's fucking 12 hours away. No one has time off work. So we can at least do the hip hop there, get our name out there, promote our rock band for later things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to writing, Monkey has a lot to say about this.
I think it's easier to write for the hip hop in the aspect because it's just me and him. We don't have to go through what the rest of the band is feeling with the songs, because we actually give them a lot of opinion about the songs and which direction to go. They do come up with lyric ideas, but they don't write for us. but they'll toss ideas. So we have a lot of communication with our songs for the band songs. So I think that one's just a little bit more difficult because getting 6 different ideas all together to make sure the song goes the way we wanted it to go is a lot more difficult than just me and Mike writing, because we can go back and forth all day and it's done.
Yeah,
Easy.
and it's just right there, and we can record it and get it done. But when he's right, when we do the rock stuff, we do put a lot more effort into it, I think, too, to make sure that each one of those guys is happy with the product at the end of it, that we have something really solid as a musical piece.
And for the rock stuff, we generally make sure it is not as bland as hip hop can be in the oversaturation of rap and hip hop. We put more thought and emphasis and energy into making sure that we can actually perform these. Yeah. Like, instead of just making studio tracks for the band, we want to perform every single song. So we want to make sure it's a performable song and figure out who's singing. Casey, our guitarist, sings. We rap. I scream. So it's figuring out the balance of what to put in the song and make sure it all blends together nicely for stage ready time.
And when you were saying how do we get the difference of rock to rap ratio mix in there, our group of guys comes from a bunch of different ranges. One of them's very heavy metal, like loves metal. The other one is classic rock, Zeppelin, bluesy stuff, you know. And we bring all that to our table, and then we sit there and go, okay, what's your idea? And then they'd play a riff, and it's pretty heavy, and we're like, all right, how do we rap to this? And we figure out the flow and the lyrics and all that stuff, and we figure it out. Sometimes we build it where I'm like, yo, I got this lyric in my head, drop a 4 on the floor and give me something nice and smooth to start off with, and we build it from the hip-hop standards where it's very minimal in hip-hop compared to rock, where we could have kick, snare, and a bass line, and it would be hip-hop. Where in rock, that's 1-2 instruments, and it would be a waste of talent just to have that.
Do you find that your audience and your fans are more of a mixture of hip-hop and rock fans, or is there more like rock fans or more hip-hop fans, would you say?
Ooh.
As of starting with when we were strictly hip hop, we had a lot of people, because we do intermingled shows where we would do the hip hop sets at the rock shows, and we would kind of change the mind of some heavy set rock heads. Like, we only listen to rock, but you guys kicked ass. I liked that. That was awesome. So we've had a lot of that, but mainly during those years, I would definitely hip hop more. Yeah. Now with the band, it's definitely a 50-50 because of the new atmosphere we've been introduced to.
Do you find that might be like more pressure, especially when you're like writing music, when you kind of figure like you want to try to please all of your audience, but like is there ever any like circumstances where you're kind of thinking like, I don't want to please the hip hop guys so much that I leave kind of the rock fans out, or how do you guys even that out?
I actually I go through that struggle a lot with some of my lyrics. That I just write, not necessarily to a beat or anything, but I'll have that contemplation of, do I want this to go to the band because this is really powerful, this is really meaningful, or do I really want to make this for a really cool hip hop song? So I mean that is a really tough question that I go through with some of the stuff I write.
Yep.
Many times.
For me, it really all depends. I just write usually what comes out. And then from there, once it's done, I'm like, well, it could be rock, it could be rap. And really where it fits is once you get it with everybody else to see where that can go. Because when it comes to our rock stuff, because there is a difference between our rock and rap, but we're trying to link them together, obviously, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like we are rock rap group to begin with, but the synergy of it both coming together is perfect because what we have in rap is so diverse. In rock, right now, we're just starting to bloom into that. So we have the exponential growth is endless, but we haven't gotten there quite yet. We're only on our second CD, which is got to be almost done here soon. So we're just starting to get real tight with that. So it is a hard choice to be like, how rocky do we want to get for this song? Where it could be just straight bar rap, you know, just rapping.
Or actual concepts.
Who would like it more? You're right. Who would like it more? Would the rock guys like it, or would this be a different type of rap genre? You know, so it's tough. It is really tough to figure that out.
Yeah. So, when you guys are performing live, what is that really feeling like for you guys, like personally? Because we always talk about like how it's a huge high for like musicians and just like feeding off the crowd and their energy. What is that like for you guys personally?
It's like a heart attack, and I sweat so profusely.
No, he slimes. He doesn't sweat. He slimes.
But
it is a rush like no other.
It really is. It really is. When we perform, me and Monkey have said this, and we've kind of vowed to it, is we try and give the most energy we can so that the people out there can actually feel the music, not just listen to it, not just get hit with it. They're there for a show, you know?
Yep.
And we want to provide the best show we can for those people. So we're out there jumping around.
Yep.
We try and choreograph some little things where me and Monkey interact because it is us rapping back and forth. We're our own hype men, basically.
Yep.
And we just go out there and sweat. And if ever I bump into him when I'm sweaty, he gives the grossest face to me. And I just like roll off. But no, performance is probably one of our funnest things. We have so much fun, the crowd interaction.
It is my favorite time to be alive is on stage. Yeah. I love being on stage more than I love my medicine.
So, what do you guys have any pre-show rituals, or do you guys just kind of like to just go out and wing it?
Not throw up. That's the thing. Because we still get nervous before every single show because we have a job to do. You know, we got to please the people, and if you can't please the people, you're not doing your job. So I still get nervous, and if I'm not nervous, I'm getting too comfy. So what we do is we don't eat food.
Yeah, I drink
a lot of water.
Like the whole day from when I wake up and I'm like, I have a show today. I don't eat anything. I will have Monster. I will have water, pop, everything. Any liquids I can drink.
Liquid diet.
Yes, I can't eat. If I eat, I feel I'm gonna throw up the minute I start eating. Like no, no, you have a show today. You can't do that.
Yep. So in a weird way, it's like we fast from food because after the show,
I gorge.
The first thing we do is like, all right, we're done. Have a cigarette.
Cool.
Hug everybody.
Does this venue have a kitchen? No. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. So we just get we don't really do much. We just hang out. We try and be professional, I guess, but it's food after the show is the thing.
Yeah, that's the main ritual. Is the right after eat something.
So one of the things that we also like to talk about on here is a lot of bands that we have on here more rock oriented. We have a lot of metal bands, but one of the things that we talk about most is how rock is kind of not. It's not as mainstream as it used to be. Rock is not. It's not necessarily died, but it's definitely taken a hit from what it used to be, maybe in like the '80s, early '90s, to even up to the 2000s with like Linkin Park and all those type of bands. What do you think personally, other than like the rise of hip hop, and it's kind of an interesting perspective since you guys do both those genres, but what do you think personally was one of the big reasons why rock kind of declined in popularity over the past decade or so?
Nickelback.
Damn, he ain't kidding.
I was waiting for it. I heard the beginning of the question. I was like, Nickelback all day. All day. That's the reason. No, kind of like every other thing. I mean, you saturate something so much with so much of it at differences, you're kind of pushing away people from finding one thing to hold on to. You can't juggle all these things, so you just kind of push it all away and walk to something else because that's chaos.
He said Nickelback. I'm going to say yes. Nickelback being played on the radio 8 times a day in a 2-hour block. That's what's killing the shit. Because if you hear the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, you're kind of going to get sick of it. And you're right. Since we do have the perspective of hip hop, I think hip hop was being thrown so much different randomness at you guys all the time. You got this kind of hip hop, that kind of hip hop, this kind of rapper, the poppy rapper, the singing, the hardcore rap, you know, that people seemed like, oh, I could just sit here and listen to different stuff all the time. Whereas rock, it's like you got 93X, Jack FM. Good luck, because 93X is the same old stuff all the time. Jack F switches up every once in a while.
Metallica rock. Oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're shopping it quite tight confines, you know.
Yeah.
It gets bad.
Yeah. So when you guys are writing music, do you have any influences from like past work that you guys have already done? Kind of like when we're talking about like saturation, not that like saying that you guys are saturating your music, but like do you remember old riffs that maybe you came up with other songs and that kind of like inspires you to like do maybe a rip-off riff of it, or does that ever play into your lyrics or melodies?
We've done remixes, we've made references, we've definitely reference to older songs and older albums and everything. Yep. We totally like to do that, so the continual fans hear it, or the new fans hear it in the new song, and then they look back to the older music when they're looking through everything, and they hear that. Yeah, we definitely do that.
Lyrically for sure.
Reach back into it. We do remixes of old songs sometimes because it's fun.
For example, with the remixes, we do have rap songs that we turned into rock songs. Mm-hmm. They're the same song, but just the rock version now. And sometimes the rock version puts a whole different meaning and touch to it, you know.
And it's way more intense because it's a live band instead of just 2 rappers and a DJ.
Correct. Which is good, but I mean, on the rap side too, when I make beats, I like to sample a lot. So I take, just recently I took Rammstein space music riff and reimagined that into a hip hop beat. But then I would take old jazz stuff from like Screaming Jay Hawkins and Cab Calloway and Glenn Miller and all these other people and put those into different rap songs that eventually could be samples for the rock stuff too, which is this underlying beat stuff. So like, when it comes to saturation, depending on how you do it, you can get it quite diverse with what it is. So like our lyrics reference to our old songs, but then some of our music actually references to the old songs that we're taking a new spin on too. So
where was your guys' first show, and do you remember kind of what the feelings were like and what your anxiety was? Could you tell us a little bit about that? We love hearing first show stories.
Okay, all right. So we're not going to talk about our absolute first shows yet. We're going to talk about our first show as Open Minded. Okay. Our first show, Open Minded, was just rap, and we were at the Insane Clown Posse main stage of First Avenue to 1,500 people.
And it was scary. It was scary.
I was the last person on stage, so I watched everybody walk up. And then all I really remember is getting really sweaty and walking off stage. It would happen so quick, so fast. It was so intense. They were chanting and screaming. That was our Open Minded's first show.
We got a better response on that show than the opening, than the opening tour support.
Yeah, so much energy that night. So like, if that was our first show as a group, I think that's telling great things. But personally, my first show ever was in my friend's basement, and it was for a Halloween party that we promoted, like, come in your costumes, we'll have loud live music, which ended up not being loud at all, because it was just 2 boombox speakers, no microphones, and a CD player, and it was me and my friend, and we just did our first little raps down there in front of like 50 people that are just wasted in different costumes, and they liked it. But his first show
Was that a bowling alley?
that had a stage in the basement.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I didn't do too well, but it was my first show and it was fun. I had fun. I did not remember my lyrics as well as I would have liked to remember my lyrics. Because the nerves more kicked in. It kind of paralyzed me a little bit. Yeah. But I've gotten well over that now. Yeah. Well over that.
What would you say is one thing that you really have to keep in mind before performing live? Is there like one thing that you really need to, like, if you guys are kind of doing like a check in like your like mentally, if you're doing like a mental check of like, do I have everything prepared or whatever? What would you say is the most important thing to be ready for when performing live?
Don't drink peach Faygo or get too drunk.
Yeah.
I can only have 2 beers or 1 actual like hard liquor drink before I go on stage. That's hands down what it is before I go on stage. If I take a double shot of Jack on stage with me, that's fine.
Yep.
Because it doesn't really affect me on stage because of the moving and the adrenaline. But I can't drink before stage. That's just no.
Nope. We've learned through experience of most of our failures here as you get too drunk on stage, you slur your lyrics, you're slow, you're not as quick as you think you are. And then if you drink peach Faygo on stage, the cotton chops do not go away. It's just sticky syrup and gross.
Yeah.
So checklist other than that, make sure that if your voice is hurting, drink hot tea and honey.
I always try and make sure I have 5 minutes before stage, no matter what, to smoke part of a cigarette in a bowl.
That's true. Oh, and stretch. Stretch out your back and your legs and your arms if you're doing this stuff all night. It gets tiring.
Stretch out the legs. You don't want to fucking cram in the middle of trying to, like, jump around on stage. Yep. Oh, man. Now I'm down for the count. Just do the next song without me. I'll be fine.
Yep. Nope, none of that. So that's about all we do on that.
Yeah. Okay, so now we'll get to the part of the podcast that's kind of like more of like an inside the actors kind of thing where I'll just ask you guys questions, and it's just questions that like I like to keep track of. I keep a poll of like what people's responses are, and then once I reach a certain amount of podcast, I'll do like a final tally of what it is. But these questions you guys both will answer, but the first question is, out of all the songs that have ever been written in the history of music, what is one song that you personally wish you would come up with yourself?
Ooh. I like that question. I don't know. But I like that question. I don't have an answer yet. Mike can go first.
Yeah. I'm going to say, ooh, man. Damn. I'm stuck between 2. If I could have done it myself and got like crazy off of it, that'd have been great. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say Cab Calloway's Minnie the Moocher.
Okay.
Just because that was featured in some of the best cartoons all over. He was an 80-year-old man, and he was still in the Blues Brothers and all that stuff. He had a great time on that. But that is a tough question, man.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten so many different responses that I'm just going to wait until someone says the same exact song that someone else has said, and then I'll just end the whole thing because I'll be like, okay, that's... But yeah, I've gotten a lot of just bands that you would never really think of, but then I've gotten a few like Hendrix and a few Zeppelin songs. But yeah, what about you, Monkey? Have you came up with yours yet?
I wish I did Thriller by Michael Jackson, because that is amazing. That song is just fun all the way around.
Okay.
Damn, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
It's real. I didn't even think of that.
I can't sing, so
Ooh.
it's better he did it than me.
All right, so we got a few more. So out of all the artists, like out of any artist, dead or alive, doesn't matter. You can choose either. What is one artist that you wish that you could perform with live if you had the chance? And I guess since you guys already performed with like Insane Clown Posse, but other than that, then who would be the one artist that each of you would want to perform with just for one show live?
Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, hands down. Alice Cooper. That's who I want to perform with. I don't care if it's with me doing a hip hop set or rock band set. I don't care. I want to do a show with Alice Cooper.
Would you be willing to get your head cut off like you did in those old shows?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I will get my head cut off in the guillotine. Yes, I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy for Alice Cooper every day on tour, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
So Alice Cooper, if you're listening, you got a tour head chopper guy.
Yep.
Dude, about it. Give me a 10-minute set. I don't care. Let's do this.
Person I would probably want to perform with, just because I've seen their stage shows and felt the energy that they bring, and I think it would be awesome if we went and toured and performed live with these guys, because I think it would be sweet. Hands down, Rammstein.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be so sweet. That's funny. We're a bunch of rap guys and we want to perform with old rock guys.
To be completely real though, on a hip hop, it'd be Ice Cube or Ice-T.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I second that. Any of the ices to be
or Body Count. I mean, if Ice-T wants to be with the band or whatever, I'm totally cool with that too.
Would you personally, Monkey, would you try to convince Alice Cooper to do a rap song with you? Make one of his songs into a rap?
Yes! Yes! Absolutely.
Out of all of his songs, which one you think would be most successful as a rap song out of all of Alice Cooper's songs?
Hey, Stupid.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm going to have to say...
or Feed My Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yep, Feed My Frankenstein. That would probably be the best one to do onto that.
I think maybe like School's Out for Summer would be kind of good too, just because it kind of already is a little rappy when you really think about it, just like because it's not like But yeah, Feed My Frankenstein would be great too. Yeah.
Do you remember the Faculty when they did Class of '99's version of School's Out? That was kind of hip hop.
Yeah. I remember that actually. Yeah, I've seen that movie. Yeah, it's pretty good. So, what about you? What about you, Mike Killer? Would you say Rammstein, any of their songs that you think would work out really good for rap?
Oh, shit. Yes. There would be a lot. I mean, if English dubbed or not, it wouldn't really matter. I think We All Live in America. That one's talking about everything that America is basically getting into current events now anyway. So as a rap track, it would just probably be, like not Kendrick Lamar. Kind of Kendrick Lamar and like Childish Gambino's This Is America. It'd be like a shove in the face of that stuff. Yeah. Or Du-Hast. Obviously, Du-Hast would be like, I hate you.
I took German in high school, and that was one of the first songs that they had us listen to. And I was like, damn, these guys are really good. Okay, so next question. Out of all the venues on the planet, and if you had one chance to play at any venue, which one would you pick and why?
Ooh. Madison Cubed Garden. Futurama reference there.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, Madison Square Garden, because I've never been in New York yet. And why not perform at the biggest thing in New York for like concert places, basically. Yeah. So that would be mine.
Yeah, I'd have to say Madison Square Garden. Just because I've always thought about going there when watching the WWF wrestling as a kid. Like, I want to go there. Yeah, that's a big huge stage venue area.
Yeah.
So I guess for music, it'd be the same answer.
When I was a kid, years and years and years ago, I ran into Macho Man Randy Savage at a Target once.
Oh yeah!
Yep.
Bro. That's awesome.
Yep. I didn't know who he was at the time because I was only like 5 or 6. But yep, my parents always tell me that story. But yeah, I was. Yeah, that's wrestling. I mean, I could do a whole podcast just on that stuff alone. But Yeah, absolutely.
And we're kind of wrestling heads. If we got any more talking into it, the rest of the podcast would be up.
I know that's why I'm like, okay, I just got to mention that one story. But yeah, so maybe if I start a wrestling podcast, I'll definitely have you guys back on and we can just talk like for like 10 hours straight on wrestling. But yeah, so this last question is like a two-parter. Your guys' guilty pleasure song that like if someone met you, they wouldn't be like, oh my god, this is a song that he actually likes, and then also guilty pleasure genre.
I'm gonna go first. All right, my guilty pleasure song. I'm gonna hands down say beyond like because I'm pretty open minded when it comes to music. I like basically everything, even some country songs. But my if you were to ask me what like one of my favorite
don't
songs,
say Nickelback.
It's not. It's Nick Jonas. Actually, it's called Chains.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's about breaking up with a woman that's abusive and shit, kind of. It was really powerful at the time when I heard it. It's catchy. He's a decent singer, you know. It's very poppy, yes, but I like that song. But I think my guilty pleasure is like 20s and 30s jazz. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Like, yeah. I love hip-hop, I love rap, rock, all this stuff, but, like, the 20s, 30s, 40s jazz and, like, blues and then that stuff, it just...
Did you do the Charleston when you're listening to it?
No. I do the Ray Charles, though.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
As much as I don't like pop, I guess, my guilty pleasure is most anything Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
That man can sing and that man can dance. He is just entertaining all around. And he's worked with Lonely Island on some funny-ass, ridiculous shit.
Dick in a Box is one of my all-time favorites.
Dick in a Box, Mother Lover, and The Golden Rule. Oh, my God. All of them. Amazing. And he sings very nicely on them. Yeah. So it's like you're using your talents for humor. Yeah. Yes.
He's not a bad actor either, too.
Oh, yeah, no, and yeah. Alpha Dog, he was really good. It shocked me. I was like, dude, you were from NSYNC. Don't be a bitch. Don't be just some boy band fucking actor, dude. Oh, you can act. Do it. Do it, man. Do it. You're a full package. Do it.
I think his guilty pleasure is just comedy rap, though. I can't lie. I don't know if you would have said that yourself, so I gotta say it. But he listened to Weird Al, Lonely Island. You know, he actually listed like what is it? Rap Battles of History.
Rap Battles of History.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good. Yeah.
He is on that Watsky.
What is your favorite epic rap battle of history?
Ooh. I'd like Thor. Who did he face? It was Thor
versus Zeus.
Zeus, hands down.
That Lego one was golden.
It was so good.
It was golden. I don't know. I have two favorites. One just because Hannibal Lecter versus Jack the Ripper was awesome, and I'm a huge fan of Dan Bull, who's a video game rapper.
That's another
so
guy.
For him to do the way he does his video game rap was more the summary of it or whatever, and he did summary style of Jack the Ripper. And then did the diss bit against Hannibal Lecter. I thought that was really fantastic and really awesome and really wicked because both characters are really wicked. And then still from the originals, the Bruce Lee versus Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood was so ruthless, just ruthless. It was not even fair.
Yeah,
it was not even.
It was
fair.
Like that one was like halfway mean.
It was.
Ooh, that was a good one. That's right. I forgot about that one.
I beat you in round 2. Would that be unbelievable? No one in your family ever lived to see a sequel? Ouch. Mean Clint Eastwood. Mean.
Now, here's one thing. I'm going to add that on to kind of like the last questions that I was asking. If you could do an epic rap battle of history versus any historical person, who would you do and why?
Ooh. Like us as like me, Mike Killa, him as me.
Yeah, and then just against any historical person ever then.
This is going to be awesome. Let me ponder.
Yes. Well, man, fiction or non, because it's...
That's a good one.
That's hard. That's hard.
I'm gonna have to go into like some Greek mythology shit and say probably Odysseus from like the Iliad and Odyssey, because he was out traveling and fighting the wars and doing all crazy shit. Probably battle rap him if I could, just to see what his rap style. Because I'm sure I'd get eaten alive by the dude, but I mean, he was out missing and fighting Medusa and shit. So I want to hear him rap about that, and then I'd just make fun of him from being gone from his family that long or something,
and for taking 10 years to come home.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you were out there fighting for 10 years and you took 10 years back. Yeah. You think your wife's faithful? No.
I'd have to say the Pope.
Ooh.
Wait.
I was just about to say, and just to be completely random, the sixth one.
The sixth Pope. Okay.
The sixth Pope to ever be. That one.
Why him in particular?
I don't know. I'd have to be it'd be a good way for me to learn about history while I dive into some ass kickery with some lyrics.
Especially if it was the sixth one, that was probably in some rough times.
Right.
Yeah, maybe like the Spanish Inquisition or something like that. Who knows?
Right. Yeah, that's who I would.
Pope. Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Rap battle against the Pope.
Watch him just sprout absolute flames against you, though, and then just like watch him be like the greatest rapper of all time.
The Pope is the best. Yeah, he's the GOAT.
He like speaks in like some ancient Latin tongue that just mesmerizes everyone.
Yeah, lost languages.
Yeah, lost languages. Yeah.
Dude, that would be intense.
Yeah.
That'd be intense.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see both those rap battles now. Fuck it. We should have the Pope versus Odysseus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be great.
That should be the season premiere of the new season.
Which it's been a whole year, and he's been bitching the whole time.
Dude. Back. I understand they're living their life, but fuck that. Give me another one.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite rap battle in history?
I kind of liked, hang on, there was the one, Darth Vader versus, who'd he go up against?
Hitler,
yeah. Might have been, yeah.
1, 2, or 3?
All of them.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, those are just really, yeah. That's the one that I, like, first remember seeing, and then I was like, oh my god, like, I can't believe these guys are, like, doing this stuff is hilarious, so then I started watching a lot of them, but yeah, that was the formative one, so I'd have to go with that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
I will just state for the record, just in case you ever get this again, my least favorite, the character that they played that shames me the most is the way they did Batman. It was, I think, the worst one they've done. And Sherlock, because it was Batman versus Sherlock, and Sherlock did a good job. But just the way they played Batman, that voice was horrid. Yeah. Horrid. And that's my least favorite one out of all of 70 of them.
All right. So what would you guys say is, what would you guys predict is like the coming year for you guys? Do you guys like have any shows planned? Where could people kind of like see you? Where do you guys perform most at where like someone could kind of come and see you guys?
Ooh, well, we're usually in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. We have a few shows coming up, in fact. Actually, Saturday we have a show, the 14th.
Yep, July 14th.
Which is actually, it moved to Anoka now. We got Liquid Assassin and Static G, which are some like underground rapper guys who Liquid Assassin used to be from Minnesota. So, but in a week, we're going to be at the Gathering of the Juggalos performing.
Ooh.
So that's a big us.
Yep. First time ever performing at the Gathering, so it's pretty fucking huge. I've been fighting 10 years for this. It's finally going to happen. I'm excited.
Are you guys at the Anoka? Is that the fairgrounds, or where is it at in Anoka?
No, it's at Misfit Saloon
Oh, okay.
in Townanoka.
Yeah.
Misfit
It's
Saloon,
like-
just for all the audience. I would maybe like to stop by that, but unfortunately, I have my 5-year high school reunion that night, so I gotta go and catch up with all the peeps. But so you guys are doing. How'd you guys get into the whole ICP thing?
Oh,
They asked us the gathering.
Wow.
They asked us to go to the gathering. We submitted our stuff last year and this year. Last year we won. We didn't.
it was like
win
a
anything.
contest that they had to see if who would be able to perform. You could win a slot. We got third place. We got beat by the guy who ended up winning.
Mm-hmm.
So this year when we hit him up, and in between that time, we worked with ICP a few times. And now they hit us up to go out there on our own and then perform out there with that. They said we could bring the rock band, but unfortunately the stage that we're going to be on doesn't have the amplification for a whole band. So we're just doing the hip hop out there.
How surreal was it? How surreal was it when you guys first met Insane Clown Posse, being fans of them, and how did they? Were they everything that you thought that they would be, or how was your interactions with them when you first met them?
They're very humble. When I first met them, it wasn't through any show that we've done. It was actually at an in-store signing, and at that time they were just basically promoting and smiling, being happy, genuine good dudes. When we met them, I haven't met them together at a show that we've done. I've seen them individually at separate times, and they're, chill, human, trying to figure out some stuff. There was this one time that one of the dudes' baggage wasn't where it was supposed to be, and he got quite upset about stuff. Luckily, we had nothing to do with anything, but other than that, they're normal guys. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You've met him a couple times too, haven't you?
Shaggy's really cool. I like Shaggy a lot. He's chill. Jay is cool in public setting when he's on his own thing, not like on display for the world. He's very secluded. He wants when it's his time, it's his time. Yeah. Don't try and hound dog him. Don't do anything. All I did was say what up to him, and he walked past me and didn't say anything. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
And the one time that I was basically almost the same thing. I told him, hey, man, thanks for what you do, and you did awesome tonight. Good shit. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. And he gave me a knuck bump, and that was basically it. He's, I don't blame him. They're on the road fucking 30, 40 days,
Yeah, meet and greets. You don't want to meet one more person.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
get away from me.
So honestly, seeing them was, it was good when they're chilling.
Yeah. So where can people find your guys' music? Do you guys have it on iTunes? Do you guys have it on Spotify? Where could they find it?
iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, Facebook.
We have a website,
YouTube.
openmindedmn.com. It'll link you to most of our stuff. It's not updated quite often, but we're working on that. Our Bandcamp is quite updated frequently.
Yep.
Our Facebook is the most updated, obviously. And most of the stuff that you can find us on, if you search Open-Minded MN, as in like Minnesota, we'll be the first ones to pop up.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely.
Fallout, the music of the video game of that. If you type in Waza-Weifel, it's a laser rifle with W's.
Yeah.
That'll bring you to all our Fallout stuff.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And,
now one of our second to last question, I gotta ask, how did you come up with your stage names, and what's the inspiration behind them?
Oh, you go first. You know it. I'm
Monkey. I lyrically throw poo at people, and I hate to do it. It's quite fun. No, I've had the nickname Monkey for a long time. I got it from a couple buddies who were throwing sticks at me while I was trimming branches. So I threw a hatchet at him while I was in a tree. So the kind of stuck with calling me Hatchet Monkey all the time, and so that stuck, and that's totally just went with the music. I'm not going to pick another name. That's a perfect one.
Yep. And for me, my name's Mike Kellerman. And in school, everybody used to call me Killer Man or Killer because of that. So what I was like is like I'm really punny. I like puns a lot. I like how the wordplay is and stuff. So I was like, well, I could be Mike Killa, which is a microphone killer, and then it's my actual name. So it's just I put two and two together.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. So lastly, what would you say is one thing that people should consider before joining a band?
Don't say it quite yet. If you're not gonna do it and put in the work and be passionate about what you're doing, don't ruin everybody else's experience trying to do it. That's said nicely. Now you can say it not nicely. Say it not nicely. Do it.
If you're going to do music, do music. Don't fucking beat around the bush. If you're going to do it, do it. You want to be by yourself and do it. You want to be with the group, do it. Don't waste your talents. Don't procrastinate. Don't be stupid about it. If you're going to fucking do it, do it.
Yeah. Drive and passion.
Drive. Passion. Definitely.
You gotta have that full-heartedly, because otherwise doing anything half-assed isn't it's not living up to what music's about. I mean,
be serious about your half-assed silly songs.
Yeah,
but don't just fucking do it.
Yeah, just do music.
And don't fucking fuck everybody else. Shut up, man.
Oh yeah. Don't be a shiesty motherfucker. Don't be trying to like go out there for the money and rob your bandmates and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will definitely be leaving links below for all the ways that you guys can find this band. I mean, these guys I would definitely give them a listen. Also, just the hip hop and the rock mix. I mean, I think it's very, 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 very good that they're doing more than one genre, just so that they can maybe reach a broader audience. And I mean, they'll attract more fans, and maybe who knows, the two fans of the genres might find out that they have a lot of in common, so they might start to listen to more of those. But guys, it was great having you on the podcast. I mean, if you guys have any up-and-coming shows, you definitely just let me know, and I'll plug it. And definitely send me a link to that website that you were talking about for your songs, and then I'll post it. I'll put it right in the link below. And fans out there, if you like this, you can make sure to like and subscribe as well, and make sure to follow me on DD on the Spot on Twitter or DD on the Spot's Instagram page, so you can keep up to date with what I'm doing. And yeah, guys, it was great having you on the show. And if you guys ever want to come back on again, you guys are welcome anytime.
Yeah, thank you for having us so much. We'll be at 7th Street Entry August 22nd.
7th Street Entry.
26th.
Okay.
7th Street Entry August 26th with our full rock band. That's our next full rock band show, so definitely come check us out if you guys can. The Twin Cities will be popping that day. It's a pretty good lineup. So thank you again for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you guys heard it, August 26th, okay? Make sure to check these guys out. I'll definitely leave a link below. But yeah, it was great having you guys, and you guys take it easy, okay?
You as well, man.
Thanks.
Take it easy.